Hey guys, congratulations on completing the first week of coursework. You guys have gone through a lot. I know that because I received so many questions through emails or during the WebEx online meetings. But I will have to say that most of you are really on top of things. You have done a great job. So, yay! Now I hope you are ready for the second week of Bio 111 coursework. So let me just use a few minutes to go through what you need to complete for this coming week. Please pay attention because for the lab, we are going to have a little change for this coming week. Here is a list of all the things you need to finish this coming week. And after you take a look at that, I will go through the lab for this coming week. Like I said, it's going to be a little bit different. When you're in the week 2 lab folder, you will notice that for this folder it actually says week 2 to 3. So there is a hands-on activity in this week, so I decided to assign 2 weeks of time period for this lab. Now, I got some questions about whether study guide needs to be completed as submitted, and the answer is no. So the study guide is just there to kind of guide you when you are preparing for a lab test. So you do not need to submit your answers. But if you have questions about certain items in the study guide, feel free to let me know. All right, let's go to eScience lab folder. So this is the 3 items you will see. See, this is the first link to the digital lab, right? And then I have 2 submissions that are required for this lab. The lab quiz is the first one. So instead of the lab workbook that you download from Digital Lab, I decided to use a lab quiz to replace that lab workbook. So what lab workbook, was I talking about? So let's go to the Digital Lab real quick. Remember when you did the lab safety, you came down here to assignments and procedures and you downloaded this lab workbook, right? So you do not need to do that for this week. So instead, I made some questions and a quiz which you can answer. So this replaces the lab workbook. Now I did that because you can get immediate feedback after you complete the quiz. It will show you which questions are wrong so that you can figure out why you got it wrong right away instead of waiting for my grading. So this is the major reason why I want to replace the workbook with a lab quiz. And again, the lab quiz will have multiple attempts. Usually I have 2, but this lab has a lot of calculations. So I'm going to give you 3 attempts. And please keep in mind that each time you do the quiz, the questions may be slightly different because it's a pool of questions and the questions will be randomly chosen for the quiz. All right. If you have any questions about the lab quiz, for example, there's a question that you just couldn't get it right, you can take a screenshot and send it to me, and I can explain, how to solve the problem. All right, now the next item I want to talk about is here. There is a submission link. It says, please submit your seed germination experiment workbook here. When you look at let's go back to the digital lab. When you go to the assignments and procedures, so these are just digital exercises, right? So you just need to do it electronically through eScience. And when you come down here, there's actually a hands-on activity. Yay! That's something that you can do at home. So open this file. This lab is about design an experiment, and you need a few things to actually conduct an experiment at home. These should be pretty easy to find, even for the packet of seeds. And a lot of people do gardening, right? So normally you have seeds at home. But if you don't have that kind of seeds, that's totally okay. You can just use beans, like dry beans, not wet beans, but dry beans. So you can use dry pinto beans, you can use dry kidney beans, whatever you can find at home or easily from a grocery store. And you really don't need that many seeds. You only need about 30 seeds. All right, so 10 per treatment, so you only need 30. Alright, so you are going to go through this experiment, and when you get down to the end, you will notice that the instruction asks you to write a lab report, right? Well, I do not want you to kind of write a full lab report because that will be too much for, the beginning of the semester. So what I did is that I made up some questions, so you can just go through the questions, and that will replace the lab report. Alright, so where are the questions? They are over here. So there is attachment to this submission link. It's called Intro to Science Seed Germination Lab. So you can just open this file. It's a Word file. It's right here. Actually, this is the older version. I added one more item to it, but you can just answer the questions, save the file, and then upload the file here. So this is what I will be grading for this week. This workbook based on the hands-on activity you do at home. Okay, and then the second thing I will grade is the lab quiz. Alright, I hope that explained everything very well. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. It's best that you could join the WebEx online meeting where I can share my screen with you, so that's a little bit easier to explain everything. Alright, okay guys, I hope you have a great week.